Hello and welcome back to another YouTube tutorial regarding Revit, and today we will be looking at the truss family that you get standard with Revit. So the first things first, let's go into wall tool, and I am just going to draw two walls so that we know where to place our truss. And let's just double check our height. Yep, that's too high. I'm just going to place this on 2450. Go back to my level 1. There we go. A level 0. Okay. So now let's head over to Insert, Load Family, and you will see that there's multiple categories. I have a big family folder, so just go to where your families are saved. And under Structural, we'll find Trusses. So if you head into Trusses, you'll see that Revit gives you a few options. So I am going to use the Howe cable truss 6 panels. I'm just going to get this on this side. I'm going to select the 6 panel family. And there we get a little bit of a preview. And if we take a look at our Science 10400 table 9, you'll see that this explains your Howe trusses, maximum clear span of 8, maximum clear span of 3 meters and 4 meters. And here in table 9 part L, this is the 2020 edition, it gives you your roof covering and your pitches of the truss, max, minimum, max, recommended. So let's go ahead and use this table to populate our roof truss. Let's go open. So before we can start to use our roof truss, we need to load in a beam family as well. So I'm going to go framing, wood, and I am going to use the dimension. Let's see if there's not a better looking one. Let's use the wood dimension number, and I'm just going to select 38 by 114. Okay, so under structure, you'll see that there is a truss tool. So if you want to select that, you'll see under your properties panel, you'll see that it has selected the trusses. So now I'm going to go from the center of my wall to the other center, and let's just create a 3D view so we can see what is going on. I'm going to go back to level 0, go to view, elevation, and I am just going to I want to create an elevation view for, there's already one. Let's use this one. Let's see where it's looking at. Okay, so that would be my south elevation. There we go. So let me just place this over here. Okay, so now I'm just selecting my truss in my elevation view. Apologies. So let's set that to, let's rather set this to level 0, because I didn't set my level line. This is why it's also important to set your level lines. So the only issue with using a truss like this, it involves a bit of math, because you can't change the degrees of this pitch. You can only change the truss height. And change this to 1.5, and you'll see the truss drops down. So if we want to use a truss on our recommended, let's go with 26 degrees. We will need to go and go DL, and I am going to draw in a line from that center to center, and I'm just going to draw in a line there and a line there. Let me just move this out of the way real quick. I'm just going to set this to 2450, so that's not that out of the way. Trim and extend. So now we know we need this on 26 degrees. So DI, select your angular dimension, and I'm going to change this to 26. And now we need to do the same for the other side, 26. And I'm going to press DL for detail line again, just to create a line there. Go DI again, press tab and select the bottom. There we go. So in order for us to achieve 26 degrees, truss height needs to be 962. And if we now decide to move this back in, there we have, let me just put on my thin lines. There we have a truss on 26 degrees. Let me just put this on fine. But now you can see that these connections are not working that well. So how do we fix this? So I'm going to select, let's go into our elevation view. I'm just going to hit tab to remove those detail lines. Detail line, there we go, delete, detail line, delete, detail line, delete. Okay, so let's get started. So I'm going to press tab on each and every one of my web chords, and I am just going to select them individually to see if I can unpin them. Nope, so we have to do this piece by piece. Tab, unpin, tab, unpin, tab, unpin, 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 unpin. This does get quite tedious if you're working with that, but if you have one and then you just array it afterwards. So I like to do these types of things first. So I just unpinned it and now I'm moving that up and move it up. Select the other one, move it up. Let's select this one, move it in, move it in. Do the same for this one, move it up. As you can see, I'm moving it just as it's over that top chord line. So now let's rinse and repeat. Okay, now it's these two that's left, and there we go. So now we know everything's in place. Now we're going to go to our notching tool, abbreviation CP. So what this does is if we select this and select that, you'll see that it created a cleaner connection, but now it's leaving an air gap, and we do not want an air gap there. And if you select that structural element, you'll see that notching distance says 20, change it to 0, and there it has moved into place. So let's go and notch everything so that we know it is done. There we go, there we go, there we go. Okay. And now I'm going to go tab, select. I did not mean for you to open the family. Let me restart that. Tab, select. go. There we go. There we go. And now we can just set this to 0. And that looks a lot cleaner. Let's just delete that detail line. So now I'm going to unpin this as well. This will allow you to create overhangs. Just unpin that one, move it there. So now we need to use our notching tool again. I know my overhangs are not on the same size, so I'm just going to select this bottom one, change the notching distance to 0 again. There we go. So I'm just going to select this and move it up so we can see what is happening. So now that part I want there. So now we can just move this along a teeny tiny bit so that we can get that over there. Because in practice you will have a wall plate sitting there and that looks a lot cleaner. Okay, there we have our roof truss. But now that we have the shape, we need to make it comply with our top chord, bottom chord, and our webs. So our top chord is a 152 by 38, bottom chord is the same as our top chord, and our web is a 114 by 38. So we know our webs is a 11438 already. So we need to go now and go structure, beam, edit type, and we need to duplicate this to top chord. Let's put this here. Top chord, change this to 38 by 152. Okay, go again, edit type, duplicate bottom chord, and that dimension is the same. So now I'm going to select my roof truss. You can select it in 3D or in elevation, it doesn't matter. Now we're going to go to edit type. And you'll see here top chord, vertical webs, diagonal webs, bottom chord. So what we need to do is change our structural framing type to our top chord. Our vertical webs is that one, and that one, and our bottom chord is our bottom chord. So apply, okay, and okay. As you can see, it just made some adjustments. So we have that corner and that corner to fix. But now you can also see this is starting to resemble a real roof truss. Let me just double check because this feels okay. That might be 152, 114. Okay, so the top one needs to change. Did I make a mistake? Top chord, beam, select our top chord, edit type. There, yeah. Okay, luckily there is a different way to problem solve this. So I'm going to select the two and change it to top chord. We can go remove notching and we can redo that part. There we go. There we go. And now I just need to bring this one back in. Let me just remove this. And there we have our Howie. How? I hope I'm not butchering the truss name. There you have your truss on 26 degrees with your 6 bays and you've adjusted it according to Sun's 10400 Part L, Table 9. So just remember to add your notes as per the table when you are doing a deemed to satisfy specification. And if your span exceeds 8 meters, please do consult an engineer for them to double check what you have designed. So please like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, explaining Revit and the architecture the South African way. I am busy creating videos for a warehouse where we will be going through infill masonry and some steel connections. See you guys in the next one.